to email blast our paperwork, everything that we need, anything we're doing, the school system backs us up.
Excellent. And that's good because now you have that collaboration with them, and that's just going to build and make it better for what you need to do or what they need to do as a whole. And so I was just thinking about when you think about working together and you're working together with the school system, you're doing things outside of the school system. How important is it for people to give back? Because I'm quite certain that there's time where there's funding that's needed and sponsorships that's needed to keep Pop Warner going. You may know here in the city of Newark there's been different programs that we've had that were cut because of football, athletic programs, because they didn't have the money, they didn't have the sponsorship. So what do you do, what are you all doing to stay on top, to have sponsorship and money to keep the program going?
For one, like I said, our biggest supporter is the mayor, so we do get a grant from them every year, and the city council, we appreciate that very much. But we do fundraisers. We do a lot of fundraisers, or we at least try to expose ourselves to the local businesses so that they'll want to give back to us. So we have a good relationship with Quick Check, and I don't know if I can shout our sponsors out, but we do have a good relationship with a lot of local businesses, and they do look out for us. Like we had a community day, and they donated food, so we can get our name out there that, hey, our season is starting. If you want to bring your kid down, come have some free food, face painting, bouncy house, So we get a lot of support. It's a close-knit community.
Okay, that's excellent because that's what's needed to have that close-knit of people coming together and building it up. And you said the mayor. So who is the mayor of Linden? Just say hello.
Hi, the Mayor Derek Armstead. So he's the first African-American mayor as well.
That's right. So that's why I wanted to make sure. I'm like, yes. But so he's a great supporter, and that's important. Like you said, the city council comes out to help support the young people. Do you see the young people? My question, I'm trying to make sure I say this correctly because my thought right now. Like, do you see the young people looking to come back? Like, do they talk about it? They're learning so much that when they get to high school, they want to come back and support. Like you said, they support each other on a team, but once they leave and go to the next level, do they ever talk about coming back and becoming a coach or becoming a president or giving back to Pop Warner?
Yes, our Tiny Mike coach, first year coach, he played Pop Warner.
Oh, wow.
TJ, so he came back. Who else? On the level, like our 18 to 21 year olds, they volunteered at the community day. They man the bouncy house. They come help us at workouts when it's just like one or two coaches and 15 or 20 kids. So all the coaches aren't really geared up and staffed and ready to be on the field just yet. They come out and they help with our workouts, or they help hand out flyers. They come back. They definitely do.
They come back and they give back.
Yes, they
do. And we talk like each one teach one. That's why we say pay it forward. Pay it forward is that you're going to come back and you're going to give what was given to you. So that is important. How many team members do you have on, let's say, the Tiny Mites? How many children do you have?
18.
18. So is there a set number that you have to have for each of them to make up a team, or?
16 players is the minimum. The maximum is 34, and then you would need to make 2 teams.
Okay, so 16 and 34. Okay. And so on the off season, what are they doing? Like when it's over, are they still coming back for practice, or are you setting them up for preseason?
They're playing basketball. Linden is a basketball town as well as football. So they're playing basketball, and we see them because everybody knows each other. We do have coaches who come out early on and do like a conditioning.
Okay.
So around like, it might be March they start. Like they go to the schools, they meet the children at the schools, they meet the parents, they call them and say, hey, I'm about to start my conditioning. Is your kid coming back this year? What's going on? So we do function year round. The only time we take a month off is usually December. As far as us board members and recruitment and fundraising, December is just holidays. So.
Holidays, okay. And with that being said, you had mentioned something about community volunteer. Do you have the young people on the football team go out and volunteer within the city of Linden, like give back in that way?
Well, not in the city of Linden this year. They actually fed the homeless in Newark by the
excellent.
By the train station. At least 3 different groups did it. Our Tiny Mites, our junior peewees, our peewee level did it, and this is food that was donated by their own personal parents. They got a group of children. You know, they let me know what they were doing, and they went out and volunteered.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good way. They want to just give back and just show the community support for those who are in need, those without housing, unfortunately. So when I think about the Linden Pop Warner staff, what are 3 major concepts? Like, what's your mission and your goal that you can, what you all are about?
Well, our mission is to provide a safe haven for children, learn something, learn football, learn education, because that's a big thing with us, and a role model, because every coach is definitely a role model. Whether they recognize it or not, they are molding this young mind at the 5 years old,
right.
is when we start. Into being, I wouldn't call them a parent, but they're definitely a very big factor, and that's why they come back and recognize their coaches, because they're good people. I mean, you have to be background checked. If you ever want to be a coach, you have to be background checked.
I was just about to ask you, yes, share with them how to become a coach.
Yes, there's criteria. You have to be background checked. You have to actually fill out USA Football and NISCA, which is required by us to play for any level. So yes. Okay.
Any level. Don't worry. He just let me know how many minutes we have left. It's okay. So any level. Now we spoke about earlier in the show the banquet. So when is the banquet, and what type of banquet is it?
Okay, it's January 20th. It's a end of the season celebration for our coaches. The coaches, we appreciate them because it's volunteer. Nobody gets paid. You get. I don't know if on the field you don't get recognized because the parents are sometimes yelling at you. Okay. But at the end of the season, we give them trophies. We give them gift bags. We recognize the coach, like, thank you for volunteer. We have 12 coaches for 4 levels. We also recognize the children. We do not give out individual awards like most valuable player. We don't give individual awards. We give team awards. You get a trophy, you get a goodie bag, and you get a certificate. And say, hey, come on back next year, because now we're in January. So it's a new year. So we letting you know this is the first exposure to, hey, this is us. We're still here. We're going to be here this year. If you're thinking of coming back, February starts our registration.
Wow. Now, you said something that's key. You said that you don't give individual awards, you give team awards. So what made y'all come up with that concept? Because I believe that's great, because I like individual awards, but when you recognizing people as a team as a whole, sometimes that would take away some of their players being extremely competitive towards one another. So you recognize, even though you have some that may be more conditioned than others, that can get the most valuable player. But what made you come up with saying, let's just do team awards and not individuals?
Well, I can't take credit for that. Okay. It's in our rule book. But we can give most improved player, but I don't really promote that, because then it does, section a kid out away from, like, hey. So everybody gets the same identical award on each level. Your trophy looks just like that player on your team. As they get higher and they get taller. But we do not individually recognize you. We do call you up individually, but you don't get anything like, hey, you get most valuable player or most likely to. We don't segregate them like that. Everybody gets the same thing. Less animosity, and no one has to look different. Like, oh, this person is better than me. You're all the same. You're all 16, all 11 of y'all got on the field and perform. So
okay, now you're the coach and you have your children that are also playing. How is it for them that you're like the team president and they're on the same football team? They relaxed with it? They're okay with it?
Well, they're used to it. They're used to me being something. So I'm at the practice field every day, just to oversee things. But I'm more so sitting back, being sometimes the president or the parent. Okay. They're used to me being there, and my husband is a coach, so he's got that part. I'm just there to make sure the other parents who need me, my kids they're gonna go to their coaches. So.
Okay. And everyone's volunteer. So because you're volunteering as well, right? Mm-hmm. What makes you want to volunteer and put in all this time? And because it's a lot of work. What's your passion behind what you do?
Making my child happy and making sure he has a team and he has a program that's great. So, and the other children have something that they can look forward to and want to participate. My oldest son, I wanted to get in it so much, but it was really hard back then. So when the opportunity presented itself, I jumped on it because I wanted to make sure what going on in my son's life, I was active for.
Excellent, because you're playing an active role. That's a major thing. So we coming to the end of the show, but I want you again to just look in the camera and tell individuals how they can get in contact with you, give your email information or your website information, because we may have a lot of parents out there that's looking to have their children involved in this great program. You heard everything that Tanisha had to say. She is the president of the Linden Tigers. I'm looking over there, making sure I'm saying the correct Pop Warner football team. And I want you to get in contact with her because they're doing a lot of things in Linden, and she's going to give you that information now.
Yes. We accept ages 5 to 13, girls and boys. We didn't really talk about, but we do have cheerleaders, football and cheerleaders.
I forgot to say that. Yes.
So 908-718-1820 is our office number. If you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we're under Linden Tigers Pop Warner. Our email is lindentigerspopwarner@gmail.com. Our website is lindentigerspopwarner.com. So 908-718-1820. That number is answered all the time.
Excellent. And I forgot. So listen, yes, they do have cheerleaders. So it's not just the Linden Tigers football, it's Linden Tigers football and cheer.
Yes.
So we didn't mention you, but I'm mentioning you now. So I do apologize because we didn't have an opportunity. But if we ever have you come back on again, we'll make sure that we definitely recognize them more in details. I want to thank you for coming on. I thank you for sharing. This has been wonderful. I love meeting the young boys a few months ago, and now I'm meeting you. And this has been excellent having you on the show. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Coach Tina Lane. Thank you for tuning in today to the Village Drum. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. See you in 2018.